What's good, everybody? It's Hamza, and today, guys, I'm coming to you with a brand new video. But before we get into that, guys, please go ahead and leave a like on this video, guys. Let's try and get 20 likes on this video. I know we can do it, and of course, guys, subscribe because we're trying to get 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And before we get into the video, guys, check out the socials down below. Check out the Discord. I will be doing giveaways in the Discord, and I am a lot more active in the Discord. So if you guys have questions, you can ask me directly within the server. But without further ado, guys, let's get right into this video. Alright, guys, so now starting off with the video, it is going to be the tier list video, so 1 to 5 plus honorable mentions. Again, guys, subscribe. We're trying to get 10,000 by the end of the year, and a bunch of you guys are not yet subscribed, but whatever. Starting off with the first honorable mention, it is going to be Drytron. Now, the reason I put Drytron here is with the fall of the Bestials, of course, the Drytrons go up in stock, especially because every deck is playing 6 to 9 Bestials, maybe even more, in order to counteract sort of the tier format and the tier deck. So Drytron definitely does get a buff because people will be off that completely because the tier cards are not as good. And of course, maybe you'll play triple Bestial in the side deck, but that's still not enough for Drytron. Again, Drytron can do the regular board where they have like triple Ben 10 and they can consistently kind of pump out the negates, or they can do a really nasty combo that my little brother's showing me with the whole Chaos Max, basically Azathoting your opponent from playing and then OTKing you next turn. So Drytron definitely deserves a honorable mention spot, again, just being essentially at full power. Of course, they don't have Ava, but it's still very strong. But moving on from the honorable mentions, we will go on to the Plunder Patrol. Now, shout out to a member in our Discord server. He ended up showcasing how good plunders are, especially with Yord. Yord does provide a lot that the deck was missing in a sense, especially because Plunder, of course, it's always just been Plunder. It's always just been good, and then it can take advantage of the Adventure engine as well, which is still very, very potent to this day. And again, there's always some underrated synergy with the cards, like Faithful Adventure preventing your Plunder monsters from being destroyed by battle once per turn. So it's very good. And then again, Plunder has all sorts of disruptions with like Lease and like Yord, and then the Mork, I think, is the XYZ monster. So Plunder is still very good, especially with Yord coming in. And then the final honorable mention, guys, is going to be Mechanical Libromancer. Now, you guys know that I really do believe in this deck. I think it's powerful. I think it's probably the best turn 1 board that the decks are making currently in this format, because if it goes interrupted, you have all sorts of plays around cards like Dark Ruler or around cards like Drop It. They literally need multiple cards, and if they're dropping, they're negging their hand away as well. So it's really good. And then Ohime and all those other cards, and being able to just kind of put this in any sort of other version of the deck, being able to draw into your side deck cards, being able to almost OTK going second, is what makes Mechanical Libromancer very, very strong. And you probably don't really need to play like the heavier warrior count. Just playing the Mechanical Libromancer with insane follow plays as well, it's really good. So I think that these 3 decks you guys should be on the lookout for, in terms of either knowing what they do, sort of having cards to deal with them, as well as kind of, again, knowing their choke points as well, which again I will showcase all sorts of videos with all of these cards. But then moving on to the 5th best deck, in my opinion, guys, it is going to be Labyrinth. Now, Labyrinth did get a new support. I believe it's the best trap deck in the format, and it's going to be the best trap deck maybe until the new trap deck support comes out. We'll have to see how good it is, because Labyrinth actually has really good monster effects. It also has big monsters as well, which other trap decks really struggle against, again, apart from Eldritch, but Eldritch everybody kind of knows, and it's kind of falling off in favor. So Labyrinth is a very, very good deck. Those normal summon cards are absolutely insane. I think it's like Iriana or something. One of them is like the normal summon, you add them and then you can draw as well, so that's really good. And then they have like the clock that lets you discard and activate your trap card the turn you discard it, so it's very good. Labyrinth is for sure a deck that you guys should know. You guys should definitely be siding back or removal or something, and you guys will understand why I say that moving on into the tier list. But again, moving on to the 4th best deck, guys, it is going to be Sword Soul. Now, Sword Soul is one of those decks that it's still quote unquote full power. It only really lost Protos. Sword Soul is as good as the format allows it to be. So if the tier 1 decks aren't as good, Sword Soul is a very good deck. Again, it may have a harder time against sort of these rogue matchups where it can't really tech for them in the main deck, but again, Sword Soul is a very powerful deck. The only thing that I need to watch out for is Nibiru, which is going to be the flavor of the month, of course, and the format, because Nibiru is going to be everywhere, so Sword Soul will need to adapt to it. I personally will be testing Sword Soul to see how good it is, but again, Sword Soul is very good. And then not being able to play the Bestials, or not having to play the Bestials, it allows the Tennies to be a lot more stronger as well. Not only did the Tennies lose to the Bestials, but there was the weird interaction where like if you Bestialed your opponent, you couldn't summon Tennies, so a lot of people were off them. Yes, you do lose Destrudo, the searching factor, but again, like I showed in my deck profile, you guys can definitely play triple Destrudo and it'll be fine. Moving on to the 3rd best deck, and this might be a surprise to some, it might be not be a surprise to others, it is going to be Kashtira. So the thing is, again, a lot of people are anticipating this deck to be good, so everybody is going to be main decking Nibirus, Book of Eclipses, Dark Holes, Regekis, and all sorts of things. So I think that Kashira, again, it will fall into out of favor because a lot of people are attacking for the deck. Not to say that the deck is bad, it is very good, especially if it forces you into a simplified game state when they just sit on Arise Heart, banishing your cards, constantly attaching cards as well. Just remember that when you detach off of Arise Heart, if Arise Heart of course on the board, it is going to be banishing the material. So if you have extra deck monsters, they will be banished. But again, I do definitely feel like Kashira is going to be a deck that a lot of people are over prepared for, so that's why it'll fall down in favor. Again, in my opinion, the top 3 decks I will be showcasing can be interchanged with one another, but I feel like Kashira is going to be the 3rd best deck. For sure, it is going to be tier 1. So 3, 2, 1 are going to be tier 1. 4 is going to be like tier 1.5-ish, and then 5 will just be like tier 2 or almost rogue in a sense, and honorable mentions again. You guys already know about Forecast Shira being able to do the double zone lock or triple or quadruple or quintuple zone lock is going to be very potent. Again, against decks like Pendulum, you can lock out the zones they can't play. Against backward decks, lock out all 5 they can't play. It is good, of course, but again, it does run into that weird situation where if you play Cashier as well, if you get interrupted once or twice, you can't really end on a monster that does a lot. You have to go like Shangri-La, summon monster from the extra deck, and just kind of pray. So again, that's why I think that Cashier will be tier 3 or the 3rd best deck of the format, because a lot of people will be over prepared. And now the 2nd best deck, guys, is going to be Branded, in my opinion. I feel like that Branded is a very good deck. Its end boards are absolutely crazy. Its consistency is through the roof as well. The only issue is that it loses to Ash Blossom on Branded Fusion unless it specifically opens Mercurier. Now again, the only way to search Mercurier, in my opinion, is the Brigand play, where you search during the end phase. So you have to hard open it, meaning you have to play 3, meaning that you have to go through like Allure of Darknesses and all that other stuff to open Mercurier. But again, if you do kind of go off and get your combo through, the deck is very insane. Having like access to Googly Moogly, Lindworm as well, it provides so much that the deck has, so it's crazy. Again, it may have taken a hit because you're not really playing as many bestial cards in your deck, but that might also be a buff as well because you don't have to play so many other cards that kind of you might brick on. So being able to play the Branded deck is very good. Again, it is definitely the 2nd best deck of the format, if not the best deck of the format. And now moving on to the best deck of the format, guys, it is going to be Sprite, but not necessarily Sprite. It is going to be Runic Sprite. So the reason why I say it's going to be Runic Sprite in particular is because yes, Sprite did lose Elf, and that's like a big deterrence to players not playing the deck. But now, if you guys saw, Sprite Runic is still untouched apart from Elf being hit, and it can just do too much, right? Being able to manipulate the graveyard and cards using the Runic Fountain card, being able to draw so many cards, and then being able to just kind of push through with the level 2 monsters, it's crazy. If you guys see what it does, like you have cards like Huggin, you have cards like Gary, you have cards like Sprite Blue, Smasher, stuff like that as well. And it doesn't matter if you lose your battle phase, because on the swing back, you literally just break your opponent's entire board and then OTK them. The essence of Sprite Runic now is that you set up a cute little board with the Runic Fountain cards, stuff like that. You don't have battle phase in turn 3, which is okay, because everything during turn 1, turn 2, you set up to stop your opponent from playing the game, and essentially OTK or FTK them during the turn 4 swing back. So that's why I feel like Sprite Runic is going to be a very good deck, especially piloted correctly. But like I said before, guys, these decks can be interchanged, so you can do like Branded here, Runic Sprite here. It doesn't matter. I think Runic Sprite is one of the only decks that I believe is going to be either the best deck or the 2nd best deck of the format. So this is why I was saying that in order to kind of combat decks like this, you will need backer removal. Now, not Lightning Storm in particular, because they keep all the cards in hand. But having a Cosmic Cycle in hand is going to be very potent against this. Now, it will be releasing kind of the best tech choices or the best side deck cards to kind of out all of these cards as well, or out all of these decks. So make sure you guys stay on the lookout for that. Again, guys, like, comment, subscribe, because like I said before, we're trying to go crazy this format, so please go ahead and keep up with the content as well. Check out the Discord. But yeah, this was it for my tier list, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, please let me know down below. So guys, that was it for the video. If you guys liked the video, please go ahead and leave a like, subscribe if you guys made it to the end of the video and you are not yet subscribed, because what are you doing, guys? And of course, guys, my name's Hamzan. Like I always say, keep on shining, never going to dream. Peace.